The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just
hello everyone,
pages
this is
of my
the Business
marketing
Zone
plan.
with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Crystal.
Hey, how are you? Happy new week.
Happy new week.
We're on our way into June. May zoomed by so
man.
fast. It was kind of scary, actually.
Unbelievable.
I don't even... my birthday kind of came and went because, my uncle got sick that same week.
So it kind of canceled out everything.
I really haven't had an opportunity to really celebrate.
Let me know when you're available. I'll take you someplace.
Yeah. So, but it's been just a busy, crazy week, especially with his illness.
Yeah.
And so that's kept me kind of.
How's he coming along?
Every day is a different day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Back and forth, and one good day or 3-4 good days, and you're like, okay, we're on the road to recovery.
Yeah.
And then something else happens, and then we're like, okay, we're not back on.
Gosh.
So next week is going to be an interesting week. I have to have a conversation. We have to have a what if meeting with the people at the facility.
Yeah.
And I have to go down to social services to put my name on everything.
As
so
his
that
power
means,
of attorney.
Yeah, and I have a power of attorney, but that just also means going to going to social services. So that's a 4-hour block of time.
I hate dealing with
so
those
that's
things.
kind of like, oh God, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then so I got to take care of that on, I guess, Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then Monday afternoon, we're having a sit-down in the event that he, may not be able to go back home. So.
Well, it's good that you guys are doing it now because, I kind of waited with my mom and you guys know because you were here. You were telling me, yeah, you need to do it now. And I waited the extra couple of days and it was too late.
Yeah, so we gotta do that. And then I got a call this morning on my way here, or before I got here, I got a call that my other uncle in Tennessee is having some challenges today. So it's like,
man.
oh, good Lord.
Does he have someone there who can?
Yeah, his whole family. He has a family. He has a wife and he has
Okay.
kids. And so my one cousin, she is actually a nurse, and so she's on her way up from Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
And then his other daughter, she and her husband are there, and the mom. So that's why they kind of moved from Chicago to Philadelphia. They moved from Chicago to Jackson of Tennessee because my cousin was there.
It's a shame that when family get to a certain point in life, all of these things start happening, and it's like we don't really know what to do. Because, it's stuff that we're not conditioned to have as a part of our program or our plan.
Right.
But maybe moving forward, that's things we probably need to start thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, because it's inevitable in everybody.
Right.
I think I spoke to somebody, 2-3 people this week that they're all caregiving, and it's all just part of the process.
Yeah.
It's just our lives are not set up to just stop. I mean, everybody's hustling now.
Yeah,
So your life is not set up where I can just stop and just put 100% of my time into doing this and also still survive.
Yeah.
So, and it's just not that kind of world. When I took care of my mom, it was a little bit different.
Right.
I had a bigger support team, and the way I worked, the hours were conducive. I was kind of working for somebody, so I didn't have to really just do that much hustling. Now I can't stop for nothing. I got to do what I got to do, and I got some things in place that are about to take off, and I can't
interrupt that.
I can't interrupt the flow because I'll never get back to the flow.
That's
because
true.
this is time sensitive
And
stuff.
see, that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about entrepreneurs. They think, oh, you're an entrepreneur, you got all the time in the world. No. Because as entrepreneurs, we work 24/7, and we try to make ends meet. We try to make things happen. And,
and once in this world now, and today we don't have a guest, but one of the things we're going to talk about is that it's, in addition to some other stuff, is your connections, as soon as you're out of sight, out of mind, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back to revisit, and they didn't, which, everything in business and
which is true.
Is fluid, right?
Because I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Because
if you go back to something that was there on the table for you right then and there, if you go like, I'm going to put them on the back burner, no, that opportunity is not going to be there in its same capacity. It might be diminished, but it's not going to be the same.
It doesn't wait for you.
No, it doesn't wait for you. So you got to take care of whatever you got to take care of, especially if it's got some huge potential to it.
Right. And it's, an example of that would be what you and I were just talking about, this opportunity that I've been working on since a little bit before April. I've been massaging it, nurturing it. And, sometimes I got to the point where, and I was a little frustrated, but I had to say, you know what, let me keep nurturing it and doing the best I can to maintain that relationship.
Right.
And, finally it paid off.
Yeah.
I was able to sign that contract today, and, they're saying, okay, get started. Let's start on Monday.
Yeah, because it doesn't work in our time. It works in a time that it's supposed to work
convenient to them.
Convenient to them, and all the pieces got to be put together. So it doesn't happen the way we want it. You have to lay the groundwork, and hopefully that everything that you're laying is in place to move forward when that time comes. And then when it does, you can run with it. But you can't, if you've been nurturing something for a minute, you got to kind of
stick with it. And it teaches us as entrepreneurs a lot of things. Like, one, can't take certain things for granted. Two, when it comes to getting certain clients on board, you're not priority to them.
No, and really stop to think about it. Our lives are kind of crazy too, right? And so if somebody comes to me, if I got, like right now I have a lot of things going on. If I don't address an email that comes in right now, it's like, okay, I'll put it on the back. Because 25 other fires come along.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's not like they're sitting there going, twiddling my thumbs. I'll wait till they come and then I'll,
And a lot of people don't understand that.
No.
They don't understand that. How do you mean? I sent you my email 5 days ago. How come you didn't respond to it?
Right.
They don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, you may have been in a meeting or teaching or whatever it is you're doing, and then you go, your intention is good. Yeah. And then when you come home or when you finish done, you're like, okay, I got to just rest.
Yeah.
And then the other 25 fires come in. It's so different than when you work for somebody, right? When you work for somebody, pretty much your mind shuts off at 5 o'clock. Right? And so
you got your weekend.
And you don't even think about you don't even think about business in that capacity.
Yeah.
But when you work for yourself, it's a 24/7.
24/7, man.
And the juggles with your personal the balancing out your personal life in addition to your business life. So it's not easy to be an entrepreneur, and it takes a lot of energy and time and that kind of stuff.
Right. It is.
And then when you get to on one side of age, 50, get over 50, then you're like, oh my God, I got to take care of my health. So you're trying to create the balance for that.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of components
it is,
that are in place that can derail anything.
I don't think a lot of people were thinking about starting businesses or pursuing entrepreneurship. I don't think they really understand those parts to it. They see the glitzy part, making a lot of money, getting famous, getting your name out there, but they don't see all this other piece.
Yeah, the other piece. So, and that's why so many people are thinking are really switching or transitioning to an online. I was looking at this lady that I'm going to actually retain her services to get my online courses done. But she was saying the same thing, and I really liked. Yeah, I saw a webinar that she did, and it was right on point what I want. She focuses on the systems in order to be able to create multiple stream your income from this, and not exerting as much energy as you would if you were doing your business traditionally or the old way, right? And so, but she was saying that she had just come to a point, her kids were in middle school and she wanted to be home. And the way her like most coaches and consultants are, your move is to go to them. Right. And you're constantly juggling how you're going to do. And she had to do a lot of traveling. She had built this incredible business, but this incredible business meant that she had to be away from home at least 85% of the time. Oh, man. And so her kids were not seeing her and she was missing out on the most important part of their lives. And so she is like, I have to make a change. And so she said she was sitting in the airport and she goes, this is not how I want to do business anymore. And right then and there, she went and when she came back home, she just totally researched how could she revamp it, and then we ran across e-courses and realized that her business could work really well in an e-course format. And so now she says she don't do any traveling. She's home with her kids, and she's making 3 times the amount of money she was working when she was working. So I'm thinking, this lady understands, because that's the problem, right? Is running all over the place trying to chase down the dollar. Right. And here, you're on e-courses, you're not chasing down the dollar because they don't even get you until they sign in and pay you first.
That's money. That money has to be there first.
Right. Before they go to do anything, then the money is already paid for.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that part.
That's the part of actually digitizing your business, because and then you can reach more people. Yeah. So that's kind of what's important, right? Is to reach a broader base of people. Yeah. So anyway, that's just to balance out all this crazy world of life that we live, trying to work.
I'm certainly going to include those things in my book, man, because I started writing.
Oh, did you?
I started writing.
Okay, cool.
And the way in which I went about doing it, I use this.
Okay.
And I recorded all
and
of
then you're
stuff.
Transcribing. Yeah, that's the best way, they said, is just to record it.
I use a lot of it. Like when I was doing that workshop for you and Jackie B the last time, and I was there waiting, that's what I was doing. I was narrating the book, man. It was good. It was good.
Oh, well, then that works, because that's how you can make that happen.
Oh, yeah. So now all I need to do is to just compile all my data, sort it out, edit it, and all of that, and to put it in, make it make sense and flow. I don't think I want to do more than 10 chapters.
No, you don't really have to, and you can do an ebook, and and then I think Amazon has a on demand, so you can actually print out what you want and pay for what you want in order to go out and do book signings and speak on it. Oh, okay. And then they order specifically from Amazon, as opposed to you having to produce, or because there's a couple ways you can either go where you're, spending a couple $1,000s just to have all the books produced, and then you have them with you, right? Right. Or you can do an ebook and put it on Amazon and sell the ebook on your site and so forth, and do some blogging about it. And then the third way is just to do if they want an actual physical book, then you do on demand.
That's what I'm gonna do, man. Because we've got a lot of content, you and I, and it's just time for us to share it with the world, you know, so they know, they understand this side of it.
Yeah, because it's important. I think I've come up with my title. Yeah. So I did that, and so now I just gotta after I finish Biz Camp, I don't have to hustle as much after Biz Camp, and so that next month, I will still be doing the digital marketing, but I'm going to, that's it. Unless we don't know what Mount Sac's going to do, but
I was just going to ask you that.
they haven't, because it would be the next class would be the fall. But it's all about whether they're recruiting or not. We have no control over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out.
Yeah,
and find
probably.
out what's going on there.
Yeah,
because I'm just thinking about that. I'm going, wait a second, we haven't heard from these.
Because
guys.
the spring would just be finishing.
Yeah.
We would just, in fact,
was gonna go.
graduation
June, right?
would be next week.
Next week.
If it had to go,
In
if
the
it had
spring.
happened, yeah, graduation would be next week. But because they didn't have it, so then the next one will actually start late August.
Okay.
Because we usually we start a week before school starts.
I'm gonna start a dialogue with them and see what's going on with that, and if we need to do any tweaks or what we need to do on that, because that's a well needed program that we should maintain.
And I think it's really not our program. It's the fact that they made a tweak. So Mount Sac needs to check in with LACO because they made a tweak on their manpower side, their workforce. Yeah. And they did some reallocating and reshifting. And the reshifting took the person that was doing the actual marketing for it, put her somewhere else. And so the person that was doing the marketing probably wasn't aggressive and probably was leaving it up to the social service workers in order to, but I think the person that was doing the marketing, she really had to be real hands-on. Right. And I think that's really what happened because they didn't have enough people. I don't even think they had 5 people.
Wow. That's bad.
So that's and they can't run. And it's not just the 12-week program that we do. It's actually a full 6 months program because they're in it's like job camp or job corps or job something. So
there are other components.
There's other components to it. We're just one of the components, but the other component actually is teaching them about the work world and how to function in the work world, and that part's mandatory for them. All right. And so that's kind of it. So that's where we are. So anyway, even if that's late August, I'm going to take August for myself, and then I'm going to start writing in my book. Good. Yeah. That's so good. I think that's important. And
well, I'm glad
then you can start speaking.
Yes. I'm glad you started that ad thing.
So, I'm kind of excited about the affiliate marketing, and we have we're really moving that out to introduce that to numerous of groups instead of not individual. We're doing on a group thing, but the ones so I haven't really spent any time advertising that, mainly because our capacity is limited on how many people can be in or at the Urban League in the training room. Right. So normally 27 is our max. If I actually market it, I'd probably have 50, 60 people there every week.
So then you're right. You're right. And maybe, see, people don't want to wait though, because I was going to say maybe you can segment it and do one session this period and another session, but with that business doesn't work that way.
So we have done it. We've done some little tweaking once. We split up the new people that were coming in, especially with half, and then I would take the half that we had already given the introduction spiel to, and then take them to the next level, and then Armin would be in the other room doing his piece, and then it was like, we maybe wasn't half, and then you have to be kind of careful because you keep repeating the informational piece, and then the people that have been there will stop coming. And and then in between that we have workshops. We're paid workshops. Oh, okay. So now we're just going to go to groups, but it could be pretty big because the whole concept of making money online. And all you're really doing is writing, and of course you got to tweak it. But the way they do the WordPress, and I know a lot of people are doing your own websites kind of scares the heck out of everybody, right? Yeah. But the way the templates are set up,
simple and easy.
It's really not that difficult, and they have widgets for everything. So as you're taking the time to learn the widgets, then you just find a widget and incorporate it as long as it is compatible with your site, and it kind of tells you.
Yeah.
Then you do it, and then all of a sudden you have you know how you see the you want to capture emails, so usually you have to build that out.
Yeah.
No, there's a widget, and I did that yesterday. It's like, looky here. So I'm like, okay, this is. I mean, there's some that are complicated, but a blog is pretty simple. And so I added a resource tab, and I just went on YouTube. YouTube is marvelous, people. If you're not using YouTube, I don't know what's wrong with y'all, because YouTube is the best teacher out there.
It's got everything.
It's out there, and you put it you put it in the search engine, and it just pops up just like that.
That's beautiful.
And then you just follow it.
Yeah.
And so it was telling me how to create this capture emails. And I did exactly, followed it to the letter. Within 5 minutes, I had that box. I'm like, oh, that was simple.
Sound like another resource you can offer.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Them call you, how do I do this? Okay. I'll be $19.99.
So that's we got to figure out how to automate your capacity statement and be able to do exactly that. Because I tell you, dude, it's not it's an easy process.
Actually, it is set up that way. I just want to do some workshops that show people how it works.
Right.
Because it's there. You know, all you got to do is just plug in the information and bam, it creates it for you.
But online. So like Wednesday night, right? We've been doing our Wednesday thing, and and I don't have to advertise because people kind of know they got to come, right?
Yeah.
So we've captured emails, and I was blown away about this part.
Yeah.
So we had been capturing emails, and I've actually set up our own network. So it's not on Facebook. It's not a Facebook group. It's our own network through Mighty Network.
Yeah.
And I get a call in the afternoon, and the Urban League is not available. We don't have it. And like, oh, heck, it's 1 o'clock, and I'm running back and forth from the convalescent home. So in my phone, I put in there, class is being moved to a Zoom meeting tonight. And then I sent out, and then I have set up on my Constant Contact segment or a mailing list just for those that's in the digital network.
Right.
So I sent that blast out. Created me a nice little graphic on Canva and uploaded that and sent that out with the Zoom ID.
How long did that take?
It took all of 20 minutes. And we had 27 people on Zoom.
Wow.
And they were like, the one was like, telling her husband, get the popcorn, get the chips, get the this, get the that. And they love it.
That's beautiful.
Even if they're out of town. Last night when we had a deep dive workshop last night, which really went well. The one lady was out of town. So she's in her hotel room with the pillow propped up on the back of her head, her laptop. So, dude. Zoom meetings are the way. People are excited to do a Zoom meeting.
You're right. And it costs what, $19.99?
Yeah, I have the paid version because it allows you to do unlimited time. So, and if you pay for it,
so you can do your video conferencing and everything that way.
You can do your video conferencing. There are other components to Zoom. So if you guys have not used Zoom, it's zoom.us.
Okay.
It is a phenomenal platform.
Zoom.us.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal platform. You can it's kind of like a Google Hangout.
Is it ZOOM or XOOM?
ZOOM.us. So you can have phone conferences on Armin and I. That's how we communicate. We'll go on a Zoom, and then we can share screens and all, and it's really seamlessly.
I think I'm going to do that because right now I'm using freevideoconferencecall.com, and because it's free, when you're going through Small Biz Pro on it freezes up.
Yeah, no. You can do. We are actually, he's sharing 4 and 5 different websites at the same time, and I've done the same thing. In fact, the other day, someone was trying to ask me a question, and I was trying to give them how they were supposed to navigate, and they weren't getting it. I said, you know what? Wait, let me just go to my computer.
Yeah.
Let me send you a Zoom ID because you can do it on the spot.
Oh, so when you have the account, you can invite someone to participate. They don't have to pay.
No, your is your account, right?
Yeah.
So what it gives you when you pay is you can have unlimited conferences for how many hours you want. And then it allows you, you can set up if somebody's co-hosting with you, that way they can control it.
Yeah.
And you can set up an ID or a password. So if, say, you've been doing this for a long time, like last night, I actually, because this was a paid workshop, I actually set up a password and for this group to record to come in.
That's good.
And then you can send an email. It integrates with your Google or your Outlook, and it will actually populate it into the calendar. And that's where the invite goes.
So how is Zoom different than Google Hangouts?
Well, Google Hangouts is sometimes a little more complicated, I have found, for the recipient to operate, especially if they're not Google friendly.
Yeah.
And I haven't now. One of my clients, we do a Zoom meeting every other Monday. And so she sends me, it's instantaneous. The Zoom, I think, is you can schedule a meeting, and you can host or join the meeting, and then it records. So there's a cloud record. So then I can then send that as a after the meeting, and that's part of what they're paying for.
So when it records it, how long does it keep it? Stores the information for
it goes into a cloud. And then,
so it can be up there forever.
Or if you got a drive, you can actually store it onto your drive, and then it's yours forever. Or it goes into the cloud, and then I'll send it over, put it into the.
This is another way. Small businesses. This is another way for corporations to use that tool to do their meeting minutes. Because many corporations, small businesses, they don't do their board of directors meeting minutes.
Right.
So this would be a good way for them to do it and videotape it. So when we're doing their certifications,
it's there.
And the SBA asks or whatever, it's there. We can use that, and then they'll remember what they discussed in that meeting. Oh,
I mean, Zoom is like, it's you can also use it for an e-course. I mean, it does the exact same thing. There are some other platforms that if you're going to do an e-course is because it does the marketing and the landing page. And this Zoom is just really a teleconferencing and without spending hundreds of thousands of dollars as if you were doing iWeb or with all the rest of those, which is what corporations use. It's easy. When the person who doesn't have Zoom, you can hit as soon as you get the invite, then it'll click in if it's not in your phone, and you can do phone conferencing. If it's not there, then it will just download just like that, no extra stuff, and to it, and they're on, and then you teach them how to navigate through it, and then once they've downloaded it, both as a app on your phone.
Oh, the prices are pretty reasonable. You got $14.99, $19.99. Wow. Yeah,
so Zoom is like awesome, dude. You can, instead of meeting with all your clients,
I know, you
can just say, I'm going to send you a link. Let's have we don't have to do traffic. They're going to get more from you because you're not being worn out from driving there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right, exactly. And it's so much easier, and you can pre-schedule it, and it's done.
And here you can have minimum of 10 hosts.
Yeah.
For the $19.99. For $14.99, you could have one host.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, so I have the 19, so I can have multiple. So here's what I do. Like a couple weeks ago, we had scheduled a Zoom meeting, and I had another meeting. So I set it up and made sure everything. I was there when the people came in. I helped admit them in because you can have them to admit them in, and then I was like, okay, I'll see you guys later. He handled it all through, and then I came in on the tail end. It's like, oh, good, you guys had a great meeting. Stopped the recording and hit the off and said, bye, guys.
Oh, that's great. That is great. That is great. And then when you record that meeting, you can play it back later on, like in a webinar session or something.
And then when you add your chat, you can save the chat notes.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So
man. That's beautiful.
I'm telling you, dude, it's a whole, so that way you're not running all over the place. That really, really changes how we do business. And you can reach more people.
Yeah, that's genius. I'm thinking, this sounds like a company I might want to team up with. Small Biz Pro.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Because if they're running their business, Small Biz Pro, and having their Zoom meeting. Oh, that would be perfect, man.
Yeah, you have to really, really give it some, try it. Because I think one of my clients, with the Google Hangout. So when we first, she goes, "Do you want to meet?" And I was like, "Oh gosh, you got to come away from the other side of town." And I am right here because I can do it at the Urban League. And then I think something about the scheduling was weird. And I said, "You know what?" She goes, "Why don't I just send you a Google Hangout?" And we tried it. And I was like, this works. And I'm doing QuickBooks with her.
Yeah.
So she shared her screen.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching her. It's phenomenal. I'm watching her go through all the steps.
On Google Hangout?
On Google Hangout. Then I'll go, "Hey, what was that?" And she go, "Oh, wait. Or she goes, and then we may have a little problem where I have to undo something. Then I'll go into my version because she has online QuickBooks.
Right.
So I'll go in and I'll go, "Okay, let me fix this," and I'll fix this, and then I'll go, and then it automatically populates, and then she goes on, and that's how we've been meeting for the last 6 months.
That's great. That is great.
So tell me you can't do a campaign.
I would love to do something like that, because that I see being a big benefit.
Right. So let's say you do a speaking thing on capability.
Yeah.
Then, so this is how we do. Now we're doing the digital marketing. We go out and do information.
Yeah.
We're doing information seminars. So you don't have a problem doing informational seminars for free, right? They can be an hour, right? So we do our information seminar. Then we're like, okay, we're going to get the sign-in sheet. Then tomorrow we're going to send you the link. And on this day, we're going to have the walk you through session. And it's going to cost you XYZ. Or not in our case, because we're using affiliate marketing to back in from there. So then you could then send the link, even through Zoom. You can acquire. You can pay. They can pay you.
Oh, okay.
Because I think they use WePay. I think that's what they use.
Okay.
WePay. So you can have them pay for the seminar and walk you through hands-on-hand capability. They purchase, or they're purchasing your template, and that's the cost, right?
Yes.
And then, so you're getting paid, and then you walk them through it, and you just show it on your screen just like you were doing your PowerPoint.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, I want to take a break? Yeah,
we're at the bottom of the hour, so let's go ahead and take a quick break. This is excellent. This is good information here. I'm drawn in. So for those of you who are listening, you just got some great words of wisdom here from Crystal. This is amazing. So our phone number is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. Give us a call if you have any question about anything we're talking about. We're going to go ahead and take a break. You're listening to the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Take a break.
Small businesses spend more than $500 million each year combined trying to find missing or replace missing paperwork. Hey small businesses, are you tired of losing out on business opportunities because your paperwork is not in order? And don't you hate having to register in multiple websites just to find a single procurement opportunity that may not even be worth your time? Well, worry no more. Small Biz Pro is the solution to your problems. Small Biz Pro is an all-in-one cloud-based business management, compliance, and procurement assistance software platform that keeps small businesses organized, contract-ready, bank loan-ready, with quick access to procurement opportunities, as well as market research data. Here are some of the features and benefits that you receive when you use Small Biz Pro to run your business daily. Superior record-keeping at your fingertips, back-office management and compliance, quick access to bids and procurement opportunities in government databases. It allows you to conduct easy market research and gather industry statistics. Government certification preparedness and compliance checklists. Easy HR and general operations management functionality. Bank loan readiness preparation and cash flow management. Certified payroll and labor compliance reporting. Business dictionary with defined business terms. A cloud-based business management platform that keeps small businesses organized and ready, even nonprofits. Business documents securely stored in the cloud. Data fully encrypted and protected by triple firewall reinforcements. On-the-spot document retrieval for quick decision-making. Bank-level data security for compliance. Document expiration alerts and advanced notifications. It uses security restrictions to block out unauthorized users, and much more. Try it out today for only $5 for the first 30 days. What are you waiting for? Go to www.smallbizpro.net and register now, or your competitors will. Small Biz Pro, keeping small businesses organized, business ready, and contract ready. Subcontractors and small businesses are very good at performing their craft, but when it comes to managing their paperwork and efficiently running their business, not so much. That is why Buchanan & Associates, a multiple award-winning supplier diversity business management, technical support, coaching, and compliance firm is here to help you. Buchanan & Associates possesses core competencies in small business paperwork and government compliance, back office management and business support, business infrastructure and organizational development, light rail transportation program management, assisting small businesses in packaging and submitting their minority, woman-owned, and disadvantaged business enterprise certifications. We even match you up with contract opportunities. Buchanan & Associates has delivered more than 7,500 hours of training to subcontractors by preparing them to become business-ready, contract-ready, and bank loan-ready with the ability to quickly access key documents in seconds. Buchanan & Associates helps subcontractors accurately prepare, manage, and submit certified payroll, contract compliance, and labor compliance reports to primes so that they can get paid on time without delays. If you need to meet your disadvantaged business or small business enterprise participation goals, Buchanan & Associates can help you. If you need a qualified and experienced firm to oversee your subcontractors so that you can successfully complete your projects, Buchanan & Associates can help you. We help all businesses organize and set up their company the right way so that they can formally pursue contracts. Buchanan & Associates has assisted subcontractors and primes secure more than $90 million in contract awards. What are you waiting for? Contact Buchanan & Associates today, the small business paramedic. Go to www.thebuchanangroup.net and begin saving now.
And we are back
That's
to the
right.
business zone.
We are back, and we're talking about how we can help you small businesses to become more efficient.
Yes, because it's really important. In order to be successful, you have to have systems. We all talk about systems,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
In place, and there's a whole
host of systems resources
and
out
resources, and that really makes the ball roll and
Makes
run.
your life easier.
And it makes your life easier.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that is being able to make that transition from the way we traditionally have done business and along the way, and how we have to embrace the digital transformation, right? Because there are a lot of things that we had no choice before, but with cell phones, where you can do a lot of your business right there on your phone, and with tablets and things like that, where it used to be we were tied to a computer desktop, right? You couldn't do anything unless you got back home.
You got to get home to that desktop.
Right, exactly.
But today,
and then let your desktop go down.
That's right.
You are just
right. You're out of commission for a long time.
Right. So now when we think about it, with like your Small Biz Pro, that's so that everything is at your fingertips wherever you go, right? You don't have to come back home, go to your file cabinet, find that document, look for that anything. It's right there wherever you are, or using somebody else's computer or public computer or whatever you want to do, right?
On your phone.
On your phone. Used to be you could you were at the mercy of someone else's Wi-Fi. I take my Wi-Fi wherever I go. I am never worried about whether I got Wi-Fi.
That's true.
So those are the things that we embrace. But then the other things, sometimes we like, well, I don't know. So for you guys, we don't have a guest today, so we're giving you we're going to have a chit chat about business
That's
and just
right.
utilizing tapping in. This is like a class in session. So I thought you have a topic we want to discuss. And
Yeah, one of the things that we were thinking about, since we're talking about businesses and going out and trying to increase your business, increase its efficiency, one of the medium, I would say, that many small businesses go through in order to get help from certain organizations are what we call community-based organizations or chambers of commerce or trade associations. Those are there to help individual small businesses to elevate their performance. Now, many people may ask, what is a chamber of commerce? A chamber of commerce is usually an organization affiliated with either a specific group or a specific community. They provide services for that community. So they provide advocacy services. They provide what we call influencer services. So they act as influencers on your part because of the nature of their organization. They can speak to government entities. They can speak with regulators, Congress people, that type of thing on your behalf. Now, many of those chambers and trade associations, they have a specific function based on their bylaws, but a lot of those entities, and I'm not going to say all of them, but some of those entities really have, I would say, their mission, they haven't been following their mission to do what they need to do for small businesses. So they provide a whole lot of different services to you, which isn't really the original intent of the chamber. An example of that is, if the chamber is to provide you business advice, business support, and business advocacy, there are chambers out there who are doing these mixers and parties and, has nothing to do with business. So I want you guys to think about that before you join a chamber. You want to ask yourself, what is it you're looking for? What is it you need? What is it your business need? And can this organization produce it for you? I know Crystal runs an organization, and we can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Recycling Black Dollars. And I guess what you're getting at is that each of these, if we have a chamber of commerce or you have your trade association, each one of us service a different component. And,
right.
And it's interesting that we're having this conversation. We're Recycling Black Dollars. Our purpose is one, to be the consciousness for the African American community, to make sure, and in those living in our community, that we are supporting the businesses that are here, so that they can stay viable and stay here in our communities, right? And if you go to other communities, you see that regularly, that it's not a afterthought for them. It's what they do.
Yeah.
So if I go to to Koreatown, everybody in there is actually supporting their local businesses in their area, and any other community you go into. But in ours is through histories of stuff is not happening. So that's primarily what we do.
Yeah.
But probably unbeknownst to anybody or to a lot of people, we're actually a marketing company. That's what RBD does, is to bring the business to the consumer, or the business owner to the CBO that can help provide them with the services they need. In addition to that, when I came on board, what I saw was missing was that when we're saying let's support our businesses, a lot of them didn't know how to run businesses. They didn't know how to communicate what they did for a living in order to be able to reach out to their specific target market. And we have a resource guide that you can place an ad so people know that you're around. Yeah. Okay. So that was what I brought to the table, was to make sure that you were getting the technical assistance to make sure that the things that I was hearing when I would ask the question when I first got involved with Recycling Black Dollars, is like, well, the customer service is not good, or they never have what I'm looking for, or they're running on such a margin or in such a lean margin that you go in and you don't even wonder if they're there. Yeah. They didn't have most of them don't have employees because they can't afford it, right? So our role is to bring the people to the consumer, the people with businesses and the products and the services to the consumer, and as well as making our businesses aware of the services that are going on in the community. That's our purpose.
And a key way of doing that is having that business catalog that you promote every year.
Every year.
I should say you publish.
We publish a guide, and we sell ad space every year.
Right.
We're also a membership organization, and that's how we stay viable for their operating expenses. And the other component is we've been in the community for 30 years, so we have sponsorship. But over the years, the whole sponsorship from corporations have changed, not just for RBD, for most CBOs.
So a lot of the corporations, they will sponsor organizations like yours by either donating funds or services, in-kind services, or maybe they'll fund a mixer that you're having or an event.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so they'll do that. But over the years, the funding has dwindled down because our corporations have a different mindset. There's a couple of reasons for it. One, RBD's been around for 30 years. So in that, our representatives have retired. And then you got to go back in because it's about relationships, right? Yeah. Just like certification is about relationships. So now you got to go back in. But those people who were your relations, they came from a different era, right? And understood the concept and the mission behind our organization or many of the other organizations. Right. New people may not get that, and then it takes you a while to cultivate that new relationship. In the meantime, they'll give you stipends, very low, but now that means it reduced your operating expenses. So, So one of the things Jackie and I are sitting going, okay, wait a minute, we still are viably needed in the community, and any organizations that's been in our community for over 30 years, we have to make sure they are mainstay. We can't just let them dissipate into the thin air because they have a purpose. They serve a purpose. Yeah. And so now we're going to be launching a crowdfund.
Oh, beautiful.
And reaching out to all the people. And a lot of people, because we don't give functions like all the other organizations. Because, nobody, what's that $30,000 luncheon? Yeah. We could use that for something to have a program.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Because many of these, chambers and different community-based organizations, they have these functions and they're charging like $500 a plate for dinner and all of that. And the question is, where does that money go?
Right. Well, it's their fundraiser, but I can see it's going for a lot of stuff. It's going for your operating expenses and so forth. But and the biggest thing that it does for them is actually gives them visibility in the community, right? So, or the people that they need money from, right? So our thing is, why put out? Because you may not make that much money, right? You might not make, the margins are so tiny that you didn't put out a lot of money and you come back with maybe $2,000. But you spend $30,000-$40,000 having this
just to get $2,000,
just to do, and you give out awards, and you're hoping that when they next year, when it's grant time, they will remember that they were honored. You're hoping that they'll come sit to the table and buy a whole table, but then really hear what your organization's about and go, I'm going to donate or pledge X amount of dollars. Yeah. Well, depending on the type of CBO, that may happen or they may not happen. Right? So we decided several years ago, when they made that change, the corporations and the sponsorship and the foundations, then we made a change. So now we're saying, okay, well, let's do a crowdfund, because we got a lot of people that were definitely recycling black dollars really helped them to start their businesses. They're on the other side of it now. They've retired from very successful businesses, but it will also give us the visibility. And then with that, we're going to use those funds to now take the resource guide, still going to keep it in its traditional format, but we're going to make a transformation to an online platform. And so
tell me, how does the crowdfunding work? you'll put up something on your website regarding crowdfunding, and people will donate. Is that
yes? So in our case, one of the things with RBD, and all of us, because Vermont Slauson has done the same thing. The founders were revolutionary, right? When they founded these organizations that have been here for 30 years, if the founders are no longer have transitioned, people they gave their lives for the organizations that they started. Mm-hmm. So Muhammad was one of those. And Muhammad was definitely way before his time. Yeah. And because he came to L.A. right after the L.A. riots. Yeah. Well, he was in L.A., but he started RBD in 1988. Yeah. And changed some stuff, made some major changes. So obviously we always go back to Muhammad. Mm-hmm. And for the first 6 years after Muhammad's death, RBD ran. We didn't have to do anything. It just ran on autopilot. On autopilot because of Muhammad. Then after that 7th year, things were starting to change with our sponsors, and then we had to start to do some other stuff. So we're
he was
go
a
back.
Visionary.
Definitely was a visionary, and he was a follower of Marcus Garvey. Mm-hmm. He was he knew that his people, in whatever capacity that they were in, that we could do far more than what we do for each other, for ourselves and for our communities. Right. And so he was that voice. And his breakfast mixers were just really purely there so that you could get up and talk about your business. Because how many people don't know how many people in your family know what you do?
Not too many. Not too many.
Right? So, because they're not using the services, so they don't. They know you out there doing your own thing. You're an entrepreneur. Yeah. So, and then a lot of people don't know how to communicate what they do. Yeah. And so that was one of the things, in encouraging and nurturing and helping people understand that. So that's how. And then you get that. You hit that right vein, and you get the publicity for a crowd fund, and then you give them funding levels or giving levels, and they give. So Jackie, I have been talking about this for a little while, and originally it was to raise funds for the application for the app, and so she wasn't quite on board. And then she received a crowdfund offer from Kenny Burrell. He's a jazz musician. Offer. He's ill, and his wife has a lot of health and medical business. So they sent out a crowdfund, and she got the link because she's a follower of jazz and music. Oh, okay. They raised over $200,000. Wow, that's amazing. So she read through it, and she saw in little bits from low as $5 to as high as $500, and so she's like, "Can we do this?"
She's wondering if it's legal or not.
Why haven't we done this? And as I explained it, people, what is it? What is that saying? Preparation meets. It's something, the timing is right, whatever. Whenever I meant it wasn't resonating, right? Yeah. And so now it's resonating. Yeah. And so she was all on board. So this weekend, that's one of the things I'm going to do is I have is to put in a narrative and launch our crowdfund.
That's great.
And then I have one running for the Pete Brown.
That is great. So then you can reach out to banks and different institutions.
I told her definitely send it. She's created her list of 100. Yeah. I said definitely send it to the ones that are our sponsors and the ones that were our sponsors. You make sure you send it, and we go. And you just kind of pull at those apron strings, right? But even for your business, we use a platform that's specific for nonprofits, but for your business, there are those for tech products and so forth where you're raising money to continue to build on.
How is that different than Kickstarter?
Well, that's what Kickstarter does.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, a lot of the tech products actually started with a that's your initial seed money before you get to the big time round.
That's kind of what I'm thinking about. Yeah. Because I'm thinking that's a good way to get, not only to get the product sold, but also to get it out there so people can know about it.
Yeah, that's the other side of
crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding is that it gives you branding awareness. Yeah. Because if it gets to circulating and you get it to the right people and they start moving it and you use social media to market it. Right. then it will really get out to far larger masses than you could do on your own without hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it.
That makes a lot of sense. I've been trying to figure out how to do that. Now, there's this lady I've heard about, I think she is somewhere in Inglewood, that does crowdfunding campaigns.
Yeah, there's one down in, I only know one that's doing it, but Dr. Letitia Wright. Rhonda is using her Rhonda Centerford for Celebrate Life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she does. So she
does. So she knows how to do it.
Yeah, she runs them for you.
Oh, okay.
And so, like Rhonda was saying the other day, we got Biz Camp is coming up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Rhonda's like she can't post nothing, she can't add nothing, she can't like nothing because right now they have a campaign going, and she doesn't want to convolute the giving. So you might want to. I have Dr. Wright. I was trying to get her on the show, but she's way out in Cucamonga.
That would be nice. That would be nice to bring her on.
Yeah, so I've been trying to get her on. I think we tried to coordinate a online, to do her Skype in.
Yeah.
But but I think that would be good is to set up a crowdfund. But they have to have, there's some PR to it.
Yeah.
So that's the background.
And she knows that very well.
Yeah, she knows that part. And she has a television show.
So how does it work? Does she take a percentage of the proceeds?
Probably. Yeah,
That
but it
makes
might be
sense
worth
to
it
me.
if you can't do it. Just it's not something that it's time consuming.
I know it's not my space, and so I wouldn't even try to waste my time trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
I want someone who understands that space and understand the connections, who to connect with. Being an influencer. That's what I want.
Yeah. So I'll give you the contact.
Yeah.
But back to our topic. This is what different organizations do, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about trade organizations, bringing you together with people that can help you do what you need to do, right? Mm-hmm. Or a chamber or and trades also operate from a legislation standpoint and a policy standpoint. So each one of our CBOs have a purpose for doing what we do, right? There's some that just kind of, they have a concept. And then those are the ones I think that kind of, just jump into the pot and do everything, right? But there are specific roles for specific trades or specific chambers or what have you. And even your target market is specific. So if we look at the Los Angeles Business Chamber of Commerce, they do business downtown.
Right.
So their relationships are downtown LA. Mm-hmm. And all the banks and all the more traditional business, AT&T, Edison, and so forth. Mm-hmm. Then GLAC with the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce, that's for specific demographics. Yeah. And for a while, they were mostly downtown. Mm-hmm. Now they've kind of ventured into some membership organizations as well. I find with them, they have a lot of connections in government contracts because their founder, Gene Hell, he actually has had, he does big contracts with the government, federal government. So they have a lot. And then now all the growth that's going on, they have a relationship with the mayor. So I think from a small business owner, you have to kind of know what you're trying to do. Yeah. And if you make a choice, because there's a lot of chambers. Yeah. So you have to make the choice that's right for what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. I was talking to Can Dance, which is usually when I have my phone, and I'm not on Facebook Live on my phone today, guys. But we're on Facebook Live on the Business Zone. Can Dance is part of the Culver City Chamber, and they had invited her to write a article in their newspaper, and it just got so overdone and kept being pushed out. And then she realized, these are really not my clients, right? So you're going so people know, but the clothing she sells or the things she sells in her store is really not the Culver. It's great she's in the Culver City, but she's not marketing to the typical resident of Culver City.
And that's one of the key things that small businesses need to ascertain before they get involved with chambers and other trade associations, because the mission of that particular chamber or trade association may not be the mission that you're wanting to be a part of. So what you just said right now is critical. It's key.
Yeah, right.
You know, they can't just, I'm going to join that chamber because I'm Latino or I'm African American. Just because it may say, you know, California Black Chamber or whatever, I'm going to go join it. No, you gotta have some sense of purpose. What problem are your presence going to solve? And who do you want to solve it for? And, you know, are you really needed?
Right. And let's say if you're a tech business and the chamber is still kind of old school.
Yeah.
So now you got to go in and turn them to understand your business.
Right.
But they're more traditional brick and mortar type of members, right?
Yeah.
So maybe there's business there for you.
Yeah.
And maybe not.
Right.
So while you're spending your membership money, is it really going to benefit you, or would it be better for you to be at a trade or business that understands what you do for a living, right? And then you'll find like-minded type of consumers or business to be B2B clients there versus what you need. And if you're a business like yours, am I going to find the B2Bs that are there that understand or even appreciate what I'm doing, right?
That's a good point.
So that's a point. So when you asked, when you said you wanted to talk about this today, I did a little research. So here's some of the pros for joining a chamber, guys.
Yeah.
Public publicity boosts if they give you an opportunity to get up and speak, and networking opportunities. Yeah. So it's a room full of people.
Yeah.
Now you have to go in and discern whether or not those room full of people are your businesses, or people that can purchase your product or service. So that's your homework that you have to do.
Right.
Mailing list accessibility. So I would ask, do I have some accessibility? Will you, like RBD, we will send out, when you become a member, we don't give you our mailing list, but we will send out, depending on what level what level of membership you have, we'll send out maybe 1 blast a year, 2 blasts a year, 3 blasts to our mailing list.
Right.
Both our hard copy or our online, and then both our social medias. And then the others, sometimes they're freebies or discounts.
Right.
So meaning that you might get a gift or a discount for a service or a product that you need. And they might give you some mugs with their logo. So it's really their branding material versus your branding material, but that could be some of the things. Now, currently, 3 million businesses are currently part of chambers of commerce.
Right.
So that's a lot. But again, you have to be very specific for what works for you.
Right.
If a consumer knows a business is part of a local chamber, the business will get 63% increase in the likelihood that the consumer will shop with them, because it's about the kinship and the familiarity. And joining a chamber is a great way to become part of the community. This is important because since 8% of small businesses all fail because they don't have a network. So if you have no network at all, you don't have a real clue. That's the first stop, right? That's the first step to go. Now the cons would be membership fees, and some of them can be costly. They can start anywhere from $100 to $250 to $500 a year, depending on the chamber and where it's located and who his clients are. Right. Your ROI, your rate of return, you might not, there's no urgency. You may not, it may take years, right?
Right.
And potential conflicts and timing of the events, because you obviously have to go and to an event, and you got to carve out time from your busy schedule to make that happen. Now, there's one person that I know that has maximize the use of her chamber.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I haven't had her on the show. I think we had her in the very first year. She opened up a boutique in Temecula. Yeah. I think we've had her online, but we never had, because she's out in Temecula running her business. But before she went to she had a dream, she had an idea, and she realized she wanted to do it in Temecula. So what she did was she went to a chamber, and her and her husband moved to Temecula, so they didn't know anybody. So that was her first line. She went to a chamber, she met some people, and this is a small chamber, and they helped her tremendously. The first year, they introduced her to this real estate development company. They gave her the first year rent for free.
Wow.
Then they introduced her to SCORE at the SBA. They wrote her business plan for her.
Wow.
And then they helped her in the negotiations of her rent and everything about that. And then and I think even they introduced her to someone to give her a small business loan.
See, those are critical things and very helpful things that small businesses can really benefit from chambers who actually provide services.
Yeah.
to their membership.
Right. And I think maybe smaller city chambers might be sometime more beneficial.
Yeah.
Because especially if it's a community like a Temecula.
They know you.
Yeah, everybody kind of knows everybody in the town, and they don't have a conglomerate of other CBOs in the community for you to go to, so that becomes the first line. Okay. I think Pomona's chambers like that. Now, you are part of a couple of chambers, right?
Yes. I used to be the procurement chair for the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce. Did that for 3 years, and I also was a part of the Latina Business Women Association.
Okay.
That's a trade association. But you've got, what other chambers? Got the San Gabriel Chamber of Commerce. You've got the Latino Chamber, LA Latino Chamber of Commerce downtown. That's another one.
Okay.
The Black Business, it's called the Black Business Chamber of Commerce, Inland Empire.
Okay.
And there's quite a few. I mean, my purpose for joining these chambers are many. One of them, because I'm a trainer.
Right.
By joining the chamber.
Yeah, so that's a good benefit for you.
Yes.
You can speak.
Exactly. You get to see, get access to their membership, and you can start providing training to them based on the agreement you have. So that's one way. Another way is you get access to their list. They call it a customer list.
Okay.
So you get access to that list so you can network to them. You can email them and try to conduct business with them also. So that's another benefit of being a part of chambers. If there is a procurement opportunity that you're going after and you keep getting the door shut in your face, you can also ask your chamber president to intervene for you.
Oh, well, that's a good one.
Yes.
That works.
They can intervene for you and speak with the procurement contract provider and say, hey, I represent a chamber of 300 strong or 500 strong, and some of our members are having difficulties doing business with you. How can you make it easier for them to do business with you?
Okay.
So that's a good way to do it, because most contract provider, they won't talk to you as a small business directly. They'll prefer to speak with the chamber president or the chairperson or something to that effect. So that's a good way of looking at the chamber also.
Okay.
But you got to identify specific chambers where their mission is congruent to yours.
Yes.
As opposed to just joining a chamber just to join a chamber. Because their mission may not be the same as yours. Maybe their mission is to work with the contract provider and not the small businesses.
Yeah. And it's funny, like that's what we were saying, right?
Yeah.
Making sure you got to do your research before you go to make sure that before you pay your membership fee, because you have a membership at every last one of them, but some won't be as beneficial as others. So I think that's important, and that's any networking group that you go to.
Right.
I'm very selective in where I go. Now, since we, if I'm going, and I know before I leave who I'm going to network for, whether it's for RBD or for me, myself, or if there's opportunities, speaking opportunities for me or training opportunities, then the show, if we're going out for the show, that's where most of the guests come from.
Right.
And when I need guests, then I start hitting the pavement and going and handing out flyers and stuff, and then I come back and I have 5 to 10. Well, that was worthwhile, right?
Yeah.
That was worth my entry fee of whatever it cost I paid, and then I got to know more people, and also pass out information for the show, so it's exposing more exposure. But you don't go there without a plan, guys. You gotta have a plan. You have to have a plan.
And you got to know what their mission is. It's very important that you know the mission, because if their mission is not in line with yours, you're just wasting your time.
You're exactly right.
If it's just a group that gets together to throw parties and do stuff like that, nothing that will grow your business, then that may not be the chamber for you.
No, right.
Now, one of the concerns that I've observed over the years with many chambers and trade associations, a lot of them seem to believe that they know exactly what the members want. So they make decisions sometimes on behalf of the members without consulting the members.
That's not cool.
Yeah, they make training decisions that way. Oh, my members, they don't need that kind of training, without even taking a pulse and talking to these members and say, hey, would you like this type of training? How do you see this type of training growing your business?
Right.
So that happens a lot. Recently I had a little disagreement with one of the local chambers who seemed to believe that because me, my space is procurement and contracts and certifications and contract readiness. So this person was conveying that they knew more about procurement opportunities for their members than me or anyone else. So I said, okay, that's fine. What have you done lately in terms of procurement for your businesses? How do you know if they're ready or not? What do they need to go out and get opportunity? They didn't have an answer to that. They were skirting around it, but they really didn't have the answers. And, that kind of upset me a little bit, because here are these members thinking that, this representative is representing them, their interest in growing their business, getting opportunities. So, those are some of the things that can hinder a lot of small businesses who belong to chambers. So, I would recommend that small businesses ask questions. Ask them, what is it you do for me and how do you do it? And what type of benefit can I get out of this?
And I think also, like I was saying earlier, I think that some of the issues are that a lot of the CBOs today are running into sponsorship issues, right? So just like a business owner, if you are trying to chase down money in order to do business, you're really not looking at the needs of the people. You're looking at, what do I need to do
exactly
in order to get you to pay me. That's what I'm looking for.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's it. A lot of these chambers, they just look forward to the membership dues or fees.
Right.
That's it. They don't really care about anything else.
Yeah. So that's that's an issue, right?
For sure.
So now you're not really going to listen to, because their needs may not be in line with the sponsors' needs, right?
That's true.
And so, some of our sponsors, require, I know with Edison, we have to do edge workshops in order to get our money. And a lot of organizations that are under the sponsorship of Edison, they all got to do that.
That is true.
Right? So a lot of times so I try to make sure that when I am selecting the workshops, that I'm thinking about my membership.
Right.
I mean, because that you've seen it obviously, because you're a presenter for them. So I look at, okay, what are these workshops? Some of my people are not they're not ready for certification just because of the nature of their businesses and financials and all those sorts of things, not knowing that. But what is it that someone can come to talk to them to get them ready? So I go with the value proposition. We did one that a couple weeks ago on effective communication, which actually was a very good workshop. And then we did one that you guys came in, you and Sarai came in and did on marketing and branding yourself and defining your proposition. That kind of defining. What is it? One was three of them we did.
Defining your brand and your capacity, I think.
Yeah, and then we had a young lady that did. She did an excellent one as well. So those were selected because of our membership. And I know who is our membership. And they absolutely loved it. I mean, everyone walked out with just so impressed. All of the recommendations and the surveys afterwards just was high. Excellent. And I will give this for Edison, you being one of them, they have excellent presenters.
It's good.
Yeah. So that's, I think, what happens, is that maybe that time is not put in. And sometimes, I guess, when you look at it from that standpoint, I am a consultant and I am running a nonprofit. So I understand what they're looking for. A lot of times those individuals are just running a nonprofit.
And sometimes some of those individuals in those positions are not the right fit. They don't really belong into that organization. Like you say earlier, they don't fit the profile.
Right. Exactly. They don't fit because they're running an organization, right? And you can have someone that come in from corporate America, decide that they want to be warm and fuzzy with the community, but they are still operating from more of a community, a corporate type of stance, and being in a nonprofit or running a nonprofit is really truly is touchy feely, lovey the whatever you were loving, whoever your population is, right? So sometimes it's like an artist. Sometimes you're thinking from a creative standpoint versus a business standpoint. You kind of the marriage of a good CBO is the balance of the operations and the structure by traditional people, and then the creativity and the compassion and the passion of the message by these people. So like your personality test, right?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to do that one. I spoke with Jackie and we talked a little bit, but she said I'm only going to get like 20 minutes or something like that. But that's not enough time to.
Well, we're gonna then set up the. We're gonna if we can back
that we want.
If we can plan that like right on the back side of it, then we're all excited. Just so you have to, if you can, structure it so it's like you throw out the appetizers so they want to come back for the steak.
Yes. That's what I'd love to do. That's what I'd
so if you can just create it around there.
Right.
So, and I'll try to come up with, you let me know. Think of a good title because we're going to get ready to do the marketing. And then that way they'll get in what type of business owner are you, or, do you make these decisions based upon this and that kind of stuff, right? So that's how we'll do it. And then we'll have the full on. And then you can take, 3 hours?
I love that.
I
love that. Because they're going to learn so much from it. And, I often think, and we're going to take our break right after this, but I often think like I run a chamber of commerce. That's usually how I think, because when I think of small businesses, I'm thinking, oh, okay, they can benefit from this. They can use this. I can use that. This training would be helpful to them. And, then I go ahead and I try to present it accordingly. But many of the chambers, they don't see training as a big component. They don't.
No.
They don't.
Yeah. No.
Which is a shame because, these guys need to learn how things work.
Yeah, but again, like I said, these are, I think the best people, and sometimes even the best people that run companies are people that have started small businesses people were entrepreneurs and they understand the ins and the outs of that. It can have its pros and cons. At some point, they have to think bigger because generally, if you kind of start small, you start thinking small. But I think, just in having some conversations with certain people, I have that. Like I remember a conversation that I had with one of he's now retired, Edison executives. And Edison was this is right at the beginning of solar, or solar had really kind of taken off, let me put it that way. And Edison was having problems based upon solar because now they're paying back. People had started putting in solar panels, and now they're reimbursing for the energy used, right? And so my question was, as an entrepreneur, you're always researching what your industry is about to do, right? So you can make that pivot.
Right.
So, because you got to be able to make the pivot. That's actually the title of my book. Are you ready to make the pivot?
I like that.
So, and he said to me, because I was kind of like, you guys got R&D departments. You guys got massive amounts of money. How come you didn't know what this was going to look like?
Interesting.
Right? Because you're going to energy seminar. You're you're at the post.
Yeah.
You know what's getting ready to happen.
They weren't fully invested.
He said, we thought it was a passing fancy, basically. And then when it realized it wasn't a passive fancy, big corporations, it's like in the stock market.
Right.
When you're investing your money in pension plans and there's a crash about to happen, sometimes they are too big to quickly get out. As a single investor, you can say, oh my God, you can hear, Trump raised tariffs in Mexico or whatever the heck he just did. If I got investments in those spaces, I'm going to pull them out right now. And I'm going to move them over in the cash side and I'm going to wait, right?
That's exactly
I'm going to wait until, and then if it does drop, then I'm going to jump back in and I'm going to go for the bullish market and I'm going to buy low and then until it comes back up, right? Well, big companies can't make that move that fast. So while they're trying to gear up, because you got all the hierarchy and the umpteen thousand executives and the meetings you got to have, because the corporation world, you have a meeting like every 10 minutes, right? Everything got to be a meeting.
That is true.
Whereas an entrepreneur, we're like, oh, darn, that's great. We make that happen now. We don't wait till next week or around next year. We don't have to meet with anybody. We just make it happen. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that was one of the things he told me, that by the time they realized that this wasn't a trend that was going to go away, that it was too late. So now they were trying to chase it. So that's kind of what happened. So
that's why they need from the beginning to be, someone teach them about their mission and their vision.
Right. And that your mission and vision may change.
Oh yeah. Your mission. That never stays the same throughout your career. Never.
No, it always changes. And when we come back from commercial, we're going to talk about the and you'll see that. You see that now because a lot of them have had to learn a very hard lesson about the internet. That transition. And so that's what we're going to talk about for the last 30 minutes of the show is why it's important to make that digital transition or you will end up like, the Blockbusters and the bookstores and all of those individuals that thought that the Book Nook was just going to be a passing fancy or Netflix was that little bitty man coming up and now cable's in that place, right? And people are cutting from cable
like crazy because their prices are too high.
Right, exactly.
They don't offer any benefit to you.
You can get half of that with an online app.
I am good. So let's go ahead and take a quick break.
Okay.
Then once we come back, we're going to deep dive into this topic, wherein businesses can achieve.
Trends is called. We're going to talk about revamping your business through digital transformation.
Where businesses get revamped through digital information.
Yeah.
So you're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Take a break.
All right, we'll see you.
Subcontractors and small businesses are very good at performing their craft. But when it comes to managing their paperwork and efficiently running their business, not so much. That is why Buchanan & Associates, a multiple award-winning supplier diversity business management, technical support, coaching, and compliance firm is here to help you. Buchanan & Associates possesses core competencies in small business paperwork and government compliance, back office management and business support, business infrastructure and organizational development, light rail transportation program management, assisting small businesses in packaging and submitting their minority, woman-owned, and disadvantaged business enterprise certifications. We even match you up with contract opportunities. Buchanan & Associates has delivered more than 7,500 hours of training to subcontractors by preparing them to become business-ready, contract-ready, and bank loan-ready with the ability to quickly access key documents in seconds. Buchanan & Associates helps subcontractors accurately prepare, manage, and submit certified payroll, contract compliance, and labor compliance reports to primes so that they can get paid on time without delays. If you need to meet your disadvantaged business or small business enterprise participation goals, Buchanan & Associates can help you. If you need a qualified and experienced firm to oversee your subcontractors so that you can successfully complete your projects, Buchanan & Associates can help you. We help all businesses organize and set up their company the right way so that they can formally pursue contracts. Buchanan & Associates has assisted subcontractors and primes secure more than $90 million in contract awards. What are you waiting for? Contact Buchanan & Associates today, the small business paramedic. Go to www.thebuchanangroup.net and begin saving now. Small businesses spend more than $500 million each year combined trying to find missing or replace missing paperwork. Hey small businesses, are you tired of losing out on business opportunities because your paperwork is not in order? And don't you hate having to register in multiple websites just to find a single procurement opportunity that may not even be worth your time? Well, worry no more. Small Biz Pro is the solution to your problems. Small Biz Pro is an all-in-one cloud-based business management, compliance, and procurement assistance software platform that keeps small businesses organized, contract-ready, bank loan-ready, with quick access to procurement opportunities, as well as market research data. Here are some of the features and benefits that you receive when you use Small Biz Pro to run your business daily. Superior record keeping at your fingertips, back office management and compliance, quick access to bids and procurement opportunities in government databases. It allows you to conduct easy market research and gather industry statistics. Government certification preparedness and compliance checklists. Easy HR and general operations management functionality. Bank loan readiness preparation and cash flow management. Certified payroll and labor compliance reporting. Business dictionary with defined business terms. A cloud-based business management platform that keeps small businesses organized and ready, even nonprofits. Business documents securely stored in the cloud. Data fully encrypted and protected by triple firewall reinforcements. On-the-spot document retrieval for quick decision-making. Bank-level data security for compliance. Document expiration alerts and advanced notifications. It uses security restrictions to block out unauthorized users, and much more. Try it out today for only $5 for the first 30 days. What are you waiting for? Go to www.smallbizpro.net and register now, or your competitors will. Small Biz Pro, keeping small businesses organized, business ready, and contract ready. Subcontractors and small businesses are very good at performing their craft. But when it comes to managing their paperwork and efficiently running their business, not so much. That is why Buchanan & Associates, a multiple award-winning supplier diversity business management, technical support, coaching, and compliance firm is here to help you. Buchanan & Associates possesses core competencies in small business paperwork and government compliance, back office management and business support, business infrastructure and organizational development, light rail transportation program management, assisting small businesses in packaging and submitting their minority, woman-owned, and disadvantaged business enterprise certifications. We even match you up with contract opportunities. Buchanan & Associates has delivered more than 7,500 hours of training to subcontractors by preparing them to become business-ready, contract-ready, and bank loan-ready with the ability to quickly access key documents in seconds. Buchanan & Associates help subcontractors accurately prepare, manage, and submit certified payroll, contract compliance, and labor compliance reports to primes so that they can get paid on time without delays. If you need to meet your disadvantaged business or small business enterprise participation goals, Buchanan & Associates can help you. If you need a qualified and experienced firm to oversee your subcontractors so that you can successfully complete your projects, Buchanan & Associates can help you. We help all businesses organize and set up their company the right way so that they can formally pursue contracts. Buchanan & Associates has assisted subcontractors and primes secure more than $90 million in contract awards. What are you waiting for? Contact Buchanan & Associates today, the small business.
Hello, and we're back with the Business Zone with Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan.
Hello, guys. We were having a live little conversation, so it kind of caught us off guard. So earlier in the show, we talked about transitioning.
We talked about transitioning from your business to a chamber.
Yep.
Right.
And then networking and making contacts and the pros and the cons of a chamber.
Yeah.
Now we're going to jump into, for the last 30 minutes of the show, we're going to talk about revamping your business through digital transformation. And we kind of alluded to it in our earlier dialogue. And so what we were just talking about before the break is knowing our clientele.
Mm-hmm.
But, there are a lot of us that have been very resistant to the digital world.
A lot of us are.
Right. To their detriment, right? Because of the fact, thinking, just like I just talked about Edison, that it was going to mysteriously go away.
Yeah.
And it was just a passing trend.
Yes.
And now, 20, 30 years later, it's no longer a trend. It is the real deal.
Yeah.
So I found this great little article today, and it was talking about there's no shortage of stories about companies that have created amazing interventions with digital technology. And now that you have your mobile phone, social media, there's so many ways, and the analytics that these things provide just is amazing that you didn't have before. You'd have to go through weeks and weeks of research in order to find out whether or not, and you may not ever find out, whether or not who your marketing material was really hitting and reaching and the percentages. Now, some digital software does all of that for you, right? Yeah. So that's just invaluable, right? So there was a quote that I found in this report, and I'll send this over to you because it's really actually kind of interesting.
Good.
It says, how do you move beyond your current mindset to find opportunities that digital technology can enable?
It's a very good question, right?
Right? And then it says, and you start by rethinking 4 traditional assumptions. So one of the things we were just talking about, Small Biz Pro. So assumption 1 is, our customers really value our human touch. So a lot of us feel that it becomes impersonal to do business with a computer or what have you. But then we stop and think about it. You go into the supermarket, and and at first when I went into a supermarket, they had the automated checkout.
Yeah.
Thinking, that's going to get somebody, somebody going to lose their job.
Yeah.
But then you go in one day and the line is to the back of the store. Mm-hmm. And you go, that little checkout looks awful amazing, and I can get in and out just like that. So then you use it. Right?
That has happened to me. That has happened to me.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, okay, you're resisting. I'm not going to use that. Right? I'm not going to do that. And then one day you're running late.
Yeah.
And the lines are long, and you realize, wow, that's a convenience.
Yeah. I can get in and out.
So, no, and there is a human there.
Yeah.
That comes along and asks you need a bag or if you need help. So they do have a human. Mm-hmm. So we don't have to make the assumption that you're going to lose the human touch.
Right.
Right. So they were saying Volvo had made that transition. I was reading here. Let me see, what did Volvo do? They introduced direct services to consumers through apps and in-car electronics, so the Siri, right? Mm-hmm. And the company opted to keep dealers involved by sharing the consumer data with the dealers and assisting customers in scheduling all through their apps with their local dealers. So now they incorporated and enhanced these customer service by helping our customers feel that it's more convenient to do that. Right. And then when I got to the dealer, they would already have the information. Yeah. And now doctors are doing that. Doctors are doing remote diagnosing. Yeah. You can call in and they'll come on and they'll Skype with you or Zoom with you, right? And you can give them your symptoms and stuff before you come in, because they may say you just need an aspirin, and you don't have to come in and wait in emergency or critical care or wait 6 months for an exam. I mean, for an appointment. Right. So those are some of the assumptions that people have when embracing the human touch.
So in other words, people, small businesses, entrepreneurs, we need to give a second look at technology and see how it can really simplify our lives.
Yeah, right, exactly. And for those of us, if we wanted to put this in perspective for us as coaches, usually we feel, and I've spoken to trainers and presenters, and they're like, "Yeah, I just like the hands-on touch." Yeah. Right? The hands-on touch. And I think if I started doing classes or courses online, I'd lose that. Yeah. But there's a way to incorporate that because you can do your initial class or course online. You're doing a video, so it's kind of like us. People are watching us along, and I know. I don't know about you, but me, I've gone in places. I was somewhere recently, and somebody ran up to me and said, "Oh my God, I have been watching you every week on the show." Oh, really? And then they don't communicate. We don't have a clue. They don't call. We don't have a clue who's watching.
Subscribe.
Right. They don't do any of that. Right. Which they may probably subscribing to Morris Media. But they get the show every week. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, oh, wow. And then one day I was walking in the mall right over here. And I was walking to the beauty supply store. And this girl ran up to me. And she goes, "I have finally met you." I'm like, okay, whoa. You're Crystal. And I'm going, do I know this person? And she goes, "I have seen you on Facebook and your show, and I finally get to meet you." And I'm like, wow.
So you're a celebrity and you don't even know it?
Right, exactly. So, but that being said, that they're not seeing me live.
No, right?
They're not. But they obviously, the way we communicate people, it makes them feel like they have a personal relationship. Because she had no problem walking up. Yeah. It wasn't timid at all. She ran up like, I'm thinking, do I know this person?
Yeah, and she expects you to know her too.
Right. And I'm like, whoa, okay. Right? And that has happened many times on Facebook. They'll come up, "You're my Facebook friend." And I've been some places and I've run into people going, whoa, we're Facebook friends, because we've actually even interacted with each other on Facebook. I didn't know them. We just are Facebook friends. And so I think as consultants and coaches and trainers, we have to realize, however our delivery is, it makes us personable to these people.
That is true.
Right? And then you can then take it to another level. you can then, if they want to sign on and purchase your product, then they can maybe get for that price a 20-30 minute interaction face to face or online with them.
And that's one of the things I keep promoting, that it's very critical for us as coaches, facilitators, entrepreneurs to treat our clients right. Treat them well, because one, we never know when we're going to need them, because they might tell us no right now. No, I don't need your service. Don't need your service. But then a year down the road, they may need you. Or they may refer you to somebody else, and you don't even know they're referring you.
Right.
You know, because of what they hear on the show. You see what I mean?
Yeah, and you never know. And some people, unless you ask them, where'd you hear?
Yeah.
Where'd you, your show, or I got this, or that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
and then you kind of like, and my typical response is, oh, good, my branding is working, right?
And that's what I was trying to tell this website person, that, listen, you don't burn bridges, or you don't create uncomfortable situations for clients or potential clients.
Right.
Because you never know when you're going to need them. You never know when they may say some good things for you.
Right.
But this person is a rookie in the entrepreneur space, so she doesn't really get it.
Right. And also knowing if she did the best of the best jobs, or understood that maybe what she's trying to do, because she doesn't completely understand what you do, could be hindering her being able to do what she's doing, right? So you would be okay with that to say, but then of course, if compensation has been out there, then you got to have that conversation, right? If you're not going to be able to deliver whatever you're doing, and refer you to somebody if they know somebody to be able to finish it up. That's your business. And I do that all the time. I'll tell people, well, if my time schedule doesn't permit, then let me refer you to somebody.
Exactly.
And because you'll get it faster through them than me. And, and right now I'm actually trying to change my space into a different space. And there's some things that, some businesses or some services that I was offering, I probably am not going to offer to, it'll probably be for a very specific client. And then that means I'm going to refer out. So I've been building some people up that can take that business for them. But you got to be able to just admit when it's not your thing. When you can't do it anymore.
Exactly. And I know she has a lot going on, but she just needs to say, hey, I'm too busy right now.
I can't handle it because you're waiting for something.
Because this is slowing down my business. I can't promote my business. I can't market my business because I don't have the website with the newer technology.
And with you, you have to have the website because you're dealing business to business. So, they're going to go first to validate who you are and what you are through your website. Then after that, all your other branding stuff works for you. Yeah.
And because I'm asking her to do her job, all of a sudden she gets really crazy on me. Start calling me a bully. Started telling me I'm trying to intimidate her. And she said, what else did she say? I disrespected her. You can see the text messages and emails going between us. There's no disrespect there. All I keep asking is...
But because she's probably outside of her league.
It's outside of her league.
Right. This is outside of her capacity.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably the problem. So you gotta come to a concern.
Oh, yeah. You can't keep letting that go along.
No.
Because, I even spend money on this person to buy a plane ticket for them to go to Vegas with me at that.
When you went to the CES.
CES show.
Yeah, so you haven't invested some stuff.
And she didn't show up. So I wasted my money and my time, and she wasn't there to represent me at all.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
So you had to go cold.
I had to go cold. I had to go find somebody else, and I got to pay for them, and all of that.
Yeah.
And then we set up meetings. She never show up to the meetings. She always cancels.
Your customer service skills, I don't care whether you got a product, but it's a service, whatever it is you're doing, you have to have skills that you have to make sure the customer understands and you communicate with the customer.
Exactly.
The things happen, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to, my time has just gotten, out of control or what have you.
Yeah.
Can we, let's work out something.
Yeah, let's refer this to somebody else, let them help you. Yeah. But it's just not good.
Yeah, that's not cool. And now you always have to think about it in a networking environment.
For sure.
That whatever you've done, then that person goes to refer you.
Yeah.
Then that's going to really stop them. Even if you've corrected all of
Yes.
that, and you've become the best business.
I would never refer
You would be
her
going
again. Yeah, I would never.
Let me tell you. Or you'd say, okay, here's my experiences with that person.
Yeah.
So now you're going to have to enter on your own.
Exactly.
I would say have some long conversations and maybe address these issues before
And
you execute.
my reputation means too much for me to refer that person to any of my clients or anyone within my circle.
Yeah.
Because, if we had this direct relationship and she misbehaved that way with me, I can just imagine somebody she doesn't have
and
that
that
direct
person that you're
relationship
referring
with.
to is going to come back to you. Well, why did you
Exactly.
do
So
that?
why did you do that?
Right,
you know?
exactly.
And the thing is, I've already referred her to 2 other people.
Uh-huh.
You know, fortunately, it didn't work out.
Okay, so then they didn't get the get this experience. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that whole website thing is a
It's-
space. That's
yeah.
not what you do.
No.
You don't need to jump
No.
over there because
No.
that's already a misnomer about them anyway, right? That,
Exactly.
you know,
They've got
like
a
in-
bad reputation
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
they got
industry.
bad
You
reputation.
know, so she should be working to kind of, go above and beyond to prove that she's an exception to that rule. She's not as bad as the others that
Right.
because most of us we don't like website people because
Yeah, 'cause
they've
you
treated us so bad.
You don't get what you're supposed to get, right? You,
And then on top of that, when you ask them to you try to hold them accountable, then they try to hold your
Yourself,
website
right.
hostage. You
Yeah,
know?
right. And we've had that issue with our Pete Brown site.
Yeah.
There was a guy that was holding the domain
Yeah,
hostage, so to speak, and we had to go through.
There should be a law against that.
Actually, there is a law.
Is it?
There is a law. Yeah,
Oh.
they can't hold your stuff. You
Oh.
can report them
Oh.
to the FAA.
Oh, okay.
And whomever it is, somebody you can report them
Yeah.
to. In fact, the person that was holding it, when he told me that,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd never do that because that's against the law. I'm like,
Yeah, really.
Really? Oh, that's nice to know. I didn't know that. So he came forth. So
Yeah.
it was a misunderstanding. But,
Yeah.
but you know how it is. But assumption 2
Yeah.
is, and this is kind of where you probably need to think about, companies feel we've reached the limit of how far we can automate our operations processes.
Yeah.
So when you think of your clients,
Yeah.
you want those kind of clients that have reached the pinnacle
Yeah.
in their traditional way of doing business.
Or at least they perceive that.
Or they
they've reached the
perceived
limit.
it,
Yeah.
right. And now here you come along.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have something that they have had. It's almost like your business, I think it would be almost like in the mortgage business when in the mortgage business or in the real estate industry, when the house is going into foreclosure, all of a sudden you have folks calling you out the woodwork, right?
Yeah.
There's some trigger somewhere that gives them a report. They're signed up with something to say, this house is going into foreclosure. You might want to reach out to them to refi them or to do whatever. And the same thing right now, we have a supply and demand marketplace for real estate, right? And so all of a sudden, if you own property, they've gone down to the Hall of Records and they've found out who the owner is, and now they're sending letters with how much they're willing to pay. So property, real estate developers are doing that now. So you almost need to find where that vein is.
Yes.
When a company is, kind of at that place where they need to make some moves.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably some information because that's when acquisition partners go jumping into the bowl,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Because they see that these people might not have. They're going to come in and they're going to be the quality control people, right? And then they're going to show you how to go lean or how to do this or how to make that transition. So you could be aligned before they got to that transition, right?
Because they're going to want to sell the business. Maybe they never thought about it, but then someone say, hey, have you ever thought about this? Oh, yeah, now I'm thinking about it. But then, are you actually ready?
Right.
Is your evaluation at the point where you can get the best maximum benefit out of it? Well, here's how we can help you with that.
Right.
Do you have a system that shows your 7-year tax return, your financial, all of those things?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so actually for you, I think even relationships with CPAs.
Franchises. Also.
Those kind of people because, they're doing taxes for their clients and they're also hearing, maybe I need to sell my business.
Yeah.
And the valuation is there and your services and maybe you shouldn't sell you, but you just feel you've gotten to a place you can't move further.
Exactly.
So that might be, but from an assumption that there must be some sort of technical something that could be in place. But then your product would be that transformation for them, right?
Yes, at least give them an introduction to
right.
it.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, so that's an assumption. And assumption 3 is working as an integrated company will slow us down and stifle innovation.
No, a lot of companies think that too. A lot of companies. And the one that I just signed a deal with today, the same thing. They're saying that I was their first subcontractor that they had. I mean, subconsultant. First. It's a big company. This company is huge. I'm going, I'm the first? They said, yes. I'm going, well, hopefully this will open the door to a lot of other subconsultants.
Right. See, because
they're thinking integration is going to slow them down or it's not good for them.
It's not good for them.
Yeah.
So those are some of the assumptions that prevent people from making that transformation.
Unbelievable.
And then 4 was the strategic assets that brought us success in the physical world will also be valuable in the digital environment.
That's true.
And really not, because there are some things, some tweaking you have to do.
Yeah.
Even with recycling black dollars. Our book is great, and there is a target market that are not quite embracing of social media, and so they may not go there, and they may feel better having the touchy-feely books. I mean, it's just like when the book industry, when they closed down books or bookstores started to dissipate, assuming everybody wants to read a book online. And ebooks online. Well, some of us do, but I also am one that physically like to touch a book. And if you're one of the things, the one limitation I found with books online or ebooks was you take a book to the airport, and when you're flying, and you're all settled in to read your book, and then they tell you got to turn your tablet off, right?
Yeah.
Or your phone off.
Yeah.
You were reading it. Now
true.
you have nothing to read until
true.
they give you the cosign.
Yeah.
But a physical book, while the plane is doing it, you just open up your book, get your snack, right? And get your little snacks, and you're good, right? Until you fall asleep.
You know what's amazing about that? I also was listening 2 days ago, maybe it was yesterday, to the Mueller report, right? And they're saying that's like 400 and something pages.
Right.
They're saying that the reason a lot of people haven't read it is because it's in book format and it's 400 and something pages. People don't read anymore. But if it were on Twitter or in an electronic format, then some people would go through it, read the highlights, summary, or whatever.
Well, actually, there's a guy, because that's how I heard. I read the first 2 chapters. Because you can find it in PDF. It is somebody. I mean, the minute the dude Barr put it out there, somebody had put it in book form. Oh, really? I mean, the minute he got it, he went and it was published on Amazon.
See, that's an entrepreneur. That's an entrepreneur.
I'm like,
right
dang,
there.
they just did that yesterday.
How much was he selling it for?
And so it was like $14.99.
Oh, man.
I mean, the next day, it was like, how did he do that so fast? So when the PDF came, he went and shipped it off because it's public. And he publicly put his name on. He on the forward and maybe the first 3 or 4 pages. He put his commentary down. It became his book.
That's beautiful.
And then there's another guy on YouTube. He actually is reading it. He is in a studio with a desk, and he is a green screen, and he's going. And this is chapter 1, and he reads through with the redactions all 432 pages.
He reads the whole thing.
He reads the whole thing.
How much does he have to pay for that?
So this one was just on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. So now he's probably gonna get all kinds of calls.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Because he didn't.
I like that. I like that.
Because what they were saying is what Mueller did yesterday was Mueller came and said, so many Americans did not read the report.
Exactly.
And so I'm going to tell you the key points to the report.
Yes.
So most Americans, and when they did that, and now people are going to town hall meetings, reading the report.
Yeah.
And so those who are...
So they can interact with their Congress
Right,
people.
and they're going, I didn't realize all that was in the report, that they're saying this and Russia really interfered, because the report is specific.
Yes.
There's no question.
Yes.
That's why so many of them said. Now, on the other side of that, impeachment is challenging because we can't get it through Senate.
Right.
So I think, and the other day it finally hit me.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi is a strategist.
She is.
Because what she's done
is
she's treating Donald Trump like he is a rebellious
little
son
yeah.
or grandson.
Yeah.
And so she's treating him accordingly.
Yes.
She's getting him enough rope so he can hang himself. And every now and then she comes back and she chastises him and it pisses him off because she hits the cork. That's what moms and grandmas do.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets all pissed off, and then he goes. And so she's pushing him to where he's doing all of this crazy stuff, because if he keeps doing this, when and they start the investigation, and which is really what they're doing right now, because behind the scenes there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, that we won't get caught up in the impeachment stuff. Get it to Senate and McConnell don't pass it, because we already know that's not going to happen, right? And all the ones that he has stuff on, that it's not going to happen.
Right.
So, but she keeps pushing those buttons and he keeps doing crazy things. The only thing we have to do is keep him the real red phone. I hope somebody has the red phone or the football locked up in padlocked and he don't have the memory to remember what the code is, because that would be detrimental. But I think that's what she's doing. It finally hit me. It's like, this lady's like my mother. She used to do these kind of strategic thinkings to get you to do what she wanted you to do.
I saw that in her ever since she did this. Ever since she did that, I'm going, this woman is phenomenal.
Strategic.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, whoa. But so the Mueller report, people don't read like they used to.
No, they don't
and
read.
So when they do write a book, it's, if it's sensational enough. So you're like me. I like physical books, but if I'm going to do an ebook, then I also buy the audio. You can get them as a package, and I have audio, and I have a membership for Audible. And if it comes that way, and then you can buy the book on Amazon, and because I have the Audible, then it'll read right. I can read it as they're talking. So that way, I can absorb it.
I like what you just said about that guy reading it, though. I love to hear him read it and go, really?
Right. So he's telling you, and then he'll go and then redact it, and then he'll kind of give his commentary around the redaction. It's like Rachel Maddox, right? She does the same thing. I'm surprised she haven't read the whole 400 pages.
I'm surprised.
But there are a number of them have just I think over Memorial Day weekend, a lot of them actually got an opportunity to read it. And so that's why they came back like on fire on Tuesday. And then he, of course, was doing crazy stuff talking about McCain. And did you hear the latest? And we only got like 2 minutes. But hide the ship.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
What kind of crazy
that is ridiculous. That guy is
hide the ship that says put John McCain's on. I have never heard anything so petty and ridiculous in my whole entire life.
He's gonna get what's coming to him.
So that's what's happening. So all of this stuff, but basically with that, that let the courts solve it. Because that's where we are. Let the court side.
That's what we should do.
And then when we vote him out,
and
then right on the other side of that, New York, the AG in New York will just hang him out there. By that time, they're going to have so much information.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even think Madoff. He ain't even going to be in the jail with Madoff.
That's what
if he doesn't run and go to Russia.
See, if the courts handle it, then it's not going to appear to be partisan.
Right.
It's going to be, the court, it's got Republican judges and Democratic judges. It's a balance. They decide on this.
Yeah.
So, and if they said this is the direction it's supposed to go in, then I'm sure New York, they're going to jump on that bandwagon and say, hey, we're going to do this, this, and this. Because he already lost 3 cases.
Yeah.
3.
And because they're forcing him to give the taxes, and the banks are handing over information, and the states are handing over information. When he get done, they will have he will be annihilated. He will be nothing left. He will not be able to do business here. So I think with that. Wow, it's just
this was a great session.
So we covered some. So just to highlight, guys, understanding how business works and understanding that it changes and that you have to know how to pivot with it. You gotta pivot. Understanding if you're going to chambers, why you're going there, or any organization, understanding why you're going there, and analyzing if you're getting out of it what you need to get out of it. Gilbert added another one about customer service and knowing when to pull a plug if you got someone that can't deliver for you. So that, and the final one was basically how to transition your business into the digital world.
That's right.
And realizing that you don't have to give up human touch, that maybe your business has reached this saturation where it is, and you have to really look at expanding out into a digital world. And then knowing that, integration is not going to stop your innovation.
That's right. That's true. It will not stop it.
And you can offer, there will be some adjustments when you go from a physical value to a digital value. But it will probably benefit you far more than if you're still maintaining status quo.
Oh, for sure. Because the digital, you got a far and longer reach with the digital.
Yes.
You can reach anywhere, send it anywhere in the world. People can access the information as opposed to the physical, the status quo type thing.
Right. So, and then you can grow your business. So that's where we all should be, is in a position where we're looking to grow our businesses and grow them to success and make sure that it's monetarily successful
we
to
can
you.
Monetize it,
and as well as be able to hire someone to help you complete and execute your services.
Yeah.
So that has been our show this week. I hope you enjoyed it. You can find it at YouTube at Morris Media Live, and later on this week it'll be at the Business Zone. So hope you come back next Friday. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll have not sure who our guest is next week, but I'm sure we'll have a guest.
That's right.
Okay.
And just remember, you can use this video, parts of this video, in your marketing efforts, in your business development efforts. There's always nuggets that Crystal and I are handing out to you every week. So if you want to go back and review these videos and just want to use certain portions of it to run your business, feel free to do so. That's what this is all about.
That's what it's all about. So we will see you guys next Friday at 3 to 5 at Morris Media Live, and also on Facebook. And that's pretty much it. And this is Crystal Mitchell.
And Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic.
And we will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.
We're out.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a business.